Hello everyone, welcome back to Baruch Nation. Let's go for a drive. It is another quest day. We are on a pickup and delivery quest once again. This will probably be weekly. It is something that, well, I've kind of inherited. When you have elderly parents who live on their own and they have no vehicle, if you care about them, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So, we are on I'm like, I don't know what to call it, like Baruch Eats? Or Skip the Dishes, Baruch Edition? I don't know, whatever. Meals on Wheels. There's an old name that, I don't even know if that exists anymore. Well, that's literally what Meals on Wheels was for. Anyway, we are on a pickup and delivery quest, food delivery, and other items. Super illegal turn, but that's okay. That's okay. My indicator was on. That's okay. So, topic of this journey. I started watching a few videos of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which will be coming out November 10th on basically everything but Nintendo, which is kind of the norm for games now, which is why I personally think that Nintendo should release a home console. Like, for me personally, I think they should release an add-on. It could be a $200 base of sorts that has its own GPU and fans and allows the Switch to do 1440p. Not 4K, not even 2K, right? Well, 1440 is close, but yeah, 1440p. Reason being, and you can play it on your TV screen, right? Big screen, 1440p, beautiful. Or essentially, release a base that gives the Nintendo Switch the power of a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One, right? The way I look at things is, what's this person doing here? A game system is only as good as its games, right? So if you have no games, or should I say, if you don't have ports for your games, then you can't be competitive. I'll hold that thought. I've reached my first destination, and I'll be back. Quest 1 is complete. And back to what I was saying, I'm not a businessman. I'm not in the video game industry. But as a lifelong gamer, I understand that for your console to sell, for your console to be successful, you need to have games for the customers to purchase and play on your console. Now, exclusives are a huge part of it. When it comes to exclusives, I would argue that Nintendo has the strongest following of, when it comes to exclusives that there is, because Nintendo is a beast. They also have the longevity, right? But if you can't get third-party developers, I just wanted to see what this place was. Opening soon, Guyby? Don't know what that is, never heard of it. This used to be Pizza Hut. It was my local Pizza Hut. It closed down. It really sucks. Anyway, that's what I was saying. If you can't get third-party support, it's gonna seriously hinder your console's success, right? You need games. That's the whole point of a game system, especially with more and more people investing, I'll say, in a PC, right? Because the PC can live almost, once again, PCs have no exclusives as far as I know. Actually, no, that's not true. There are PC-only games. They're like gigantic. So, once again, when it comes to exclusives, that's what sells systems. There's a reason why the PS5 is, like it or not, the PS5 is selling extremely well, and people are going nuts over Spider-Man, right? The only place to get it, right, is PS5. On the Marvel Avengers game, right, it could be a one-year exclusive, it could be exclusive forever, but the only place to get Spider-Man is PlayStation 5, right? If you want Forza or Gears of War, right, or Halo, you go the Xbox route, because they're the only place you can get it. Then there's like simulators and huge space games and stuff. Or you want the top, once again, if you have the money, you get the top of the line graphics card, processor, memory, and you can get the best graphics on PC. Once again, PC is not cheap. You can buy the Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S, and the PlayStation 5, and the PlayStation 5 Pro, right, which is $2,000, and you can get yourself a decent gaming PC. You'll get 1080p graphics, no problem. You'll get low 4K, but $2,000 for a PC is kind of the norm now. That's kind of standard, because you have to look at it this way. The graphics card alone is over $1,000. That's only one element. You need to get a CPU, you need to get a motherboard, you need to get a hard drive or a SSD, you need to get, you know, memory, right, RAM. You need to get a case, you need to get a monitor, right? And if you're missing cables, you gotta get your cables and stuff. PCs are not cheap, but there's a reason why they have the best performance, because they're not cheap. Consoles have to have give and take, because they need to be affordable or people aren't gonna buy them, right? But anyway, back to what I was saying. If Nintendo, I get it. The whole point of the Switch is to be portable, right? And as a developer, it's a pain in the ass to have to... See, I don't get it, because on a PC, if you have a PC that has lower graphics, you can just dumb down the graphics to work on what your PC is able of doing. So you can make it 720p, right? 30 frames a second, and you can play your game on whatever rig you have. So I don't know why they can't build that into the console. Like, the Switch is a 720p screen. So if you take it out, it drops it down to 30 frames a second, 720p max, and this special dock that I was dreaming up, right? I know that it takes away, like, it'll be a big difference, but 1440p dock with its own CPU, its own fans, its own electronics or whatever, its own CPU, $250 dock, right? And you plop it in there, you're now getting 1440p graphics, 60 frames per second. It'll allow the Switch, allow Nintendo to get ports. Because right now, as far as I've been reading, to port over to the Switch, the game has to be already lower, like there's no 4K games are being dumbed down and brought to the Switch, right? And the future games are, let's be real, the future of games is 1440. Later down the road, it's going to be 4K. There's no games that are going to be 4K, 60 frames, right? 4K, 120 hertz. Like they are advertising that. In 2020 and 2021, none of those games were coming. PC, different story. But right now, because I was looking at Assassin's Creed Odyssey, is 900p. I didn't even know that was a thing, right? On the PlayStation, it gets up to 1080. Both are between 30, right? 30 and like 70 frames per second, right? They're not even 60. So when people are going out crazy, like, we are used to playing 30 frame per second under 1080p games. So anything above that is amazing on your television. Your nice big screen, 55 inches plus. Anyway, getting sidetracked. I feel like Nintendo, yes, it takes away, or it kind of goes against what they were trying to do, because I was reading that they didn't want to have just a home console, like games that are just for TV. But you know what? I don't know. I can't see why they can't set it to dumb it down, right? You take it off the dock, it dials it way back. 720p, right? 30 frames per second, dials it back so you can take it portable, right? What I like to call shit break. And then when you put it in the dock with the additional GPU and the CPU and the memory and all that stuff, it bumps it up to 1440p, 60 frames per second. And that is mwah. Because like I said, it's better than most of PS1 and, or sorry, Xbox One and PS4, PS1. It's better than Xbox One and PS4 games right now. Most of them are, 1080p games. So as long as the Switch, with the Switch Pro, Switch 2, 2.5, Switch Deluxe, whatever the hell Nintendo ends up calling their next system, because I would assume it's going to be an iteration of the Switch. That's my assumption. Whatever they end up calling the next system needs to be able to do what the PS4 can do now. That's my, if they don't want to jump up into the 4K world of things, it needs to be able to do what the PS4 is doing, which will give them ports. Because right now, next month, literally, the PS5 and the Xbox One X are coming out. They are going to be able to do 4K gaming. The Switch does 720p, and on the dock, 1080p, right? So that's a huge difference. Once again, it doesn't mean, majority of the games are not going to be 4K. They're going to upscale them. It's going to be like 4K 30, right? 60 hertz. Let's be real here. People are getting all obsessed with numbers and not understanding what reality is. But anyway, it's going to hinder the Switch's ports. And the Switch is a fantastic system. It's just, it was released underpowered. So they need to upgrade their power to be competitive, to get games continually coming to the system from companies other than Nintendo companies. I'm not a analyst. I'm not in the industry. I'm not a businessman, but I understand that much as a gamer, right? I get it because I see all the ports of games that Nintendo's not getting, right? And it's like, yeah, you bet the Switch and you play your Nintendo games and you have a ton of fun and you play for 60, 70 hours and it's awesome. But at the same time, some people want it to be, you want a one-stop shop. Some people can't afford multiple systems. Some people can't afford PCs, right? So the Switch is affordable, it's portable, that rhymes, and it's really, majority of my time I play my Switch on the TV, right? I don't even play the Switch. I barely play it. Like I said, when I play it portable, I call it bathroom break or lunch break, right? Like I don't use it as a portable system. I use it as a extension of when I need to leave my main gaming area for whatever reason. That's when I go portable. Otherwise, I'm playing on my TV with my Pro controller, right? That's the kind of gamer I am. But anyway, back to what I was saying originally after my little. I guess you can say my TED Talk, if you want to say so, right? That's what I understand about the gaming industry. You need games. You need third-party companies, which are companies that all they do is make games for other systems. They don't have their own system for sale. You need them to make games for your system, so people buy your system and you all make money, right? So I can see Nintendo running into a little bit of trouble because there's only so many games they can produce a year, right? Now, of course, they're going to get the smaller games, and if I was Nintendo, I would really push all those small and indie companies and all the mobile phone games. I would get those on the Switch. That's what I would do. But anyway, to completely switch topics to a degree, I was watching videos. Remember, since I started, I was watching videos on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's coming out for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, right? And it'll eventually come on PC, I believe. It's not coming out on the Switch. Once again, the Switch isn't powerful enough to play it, and they're not going to make a dumbed-down version of the game to put on the Switch, because it's a lot of work, as I would guess. Even though on the PC, I don't know how that works. I guess it's a completely different architecture. But I was watching videos on Valhalla, and videos for Odyssey kept popping up. And let me start this. I'm not an Assassin's Creed guy. I played Assassin's Creed 1, I didn't like it. I played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I didn't like it. And those are the 2 Assassin's Creed games that I own. But I've been loving what I see in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Those videos, woo! I was playing God of War. I love the whole Norse mythology and all that kind of stuff. I think it's really cool. And the fact that they talked about Odin makes me think that in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you might be getting God tier weapons. You might be getting God powers. Maybe. I don't know. Game's not out yet. Comes out November 10th, which is also, it was supposed to be November 17th. They bumped it up to launch on the day Xbox Series X comes out. So it has me thinking, should I buy it on the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5? I'm trying to get, because there's reviewers that have it already and they've been playing it and stuff. I'm trying to get out which game will it play, which system will it play better on. But after some thinking, like I said, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I kept seeing videos for Assassin's Creed Odyssey popping up, so I decided, let me take a look at this game. Holy crap, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks incredible, right? And I didn't know that, I always thought Assassin's Creed was an RPG, but they haven't been. They've just been platforming action games. Odyssey turned it into an actual RPG with extreme RPG elements. And what I love the most, character builds. You put a piece of gear on your character and it actually shows up. That is incredible to me. I love that in a game. When I put a piece of armor, I put on boots, I want to see the boots. I put on a helmet, I want to see the helmet. I'm holding a shield, I want to see the shield. I like that. And in Odyssey, you get that. I've seen videos where they create what they call, there's one guy, literally calls it a demigod. His character's so powerful. And I'm like, that is amazing. And you can get up to a level 99 character. That to me is poof, mind-blowing, amazing. But I bought it. Bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's 1080p max on PlayStation 4. It doesn't mean it's always 1080p, but max, it goes up to 1080p on the PlayStation 4. It goes up to only max 900p on the Xbox One. I bought it on the Xbox One. Reason being is, I've had a history of playing my RPGs on my Xbox systems. So I figured, and also the game was cheaper on Xbox. Not sure why. It was on sale only on Xbox, not on PlayStation. Once again, don't know why, but that really skewed my buying, right? Okay, if it's cheaper, right? And you know what? 900p, there's nothing wrong with 900p. Like I said, I'm a 1080p gamer at max, so 900p is not a big deal, right? I'm used to 30 frames per second, so that's not a big deal. So we'll continue this, but I picked up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Second pickup has been completed. Now for the final part of the quest, which is delivery. You can hear I have my quest items ready. And now the journey begins to drop off the items. Now what I was saying before is, I started playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Holy crap, is it up my alley? Is it my kind of game? It's an RPG where you have free roam exploring, or say like Breath of the Wild, Grand Theft Auto, one of my favorites of all time, Infamous, right? You run around and you can do things more or less in your order. You can pick up 10 different missions, 10 different quests, and you can do them in almost any order you want. Now, of course, if you're on a certain level, some quests will be harder than others, some will be easier, but I love that freedom. You can There's lots of secrets, like, or actually, I also say it's like Skyrim, right? There's lots of things on the map. Once you discover something, it shows up on the map, right? If you played Skyrim, you'll know that the map starts off pretty barren. You know, you're in a little hometown, and when you get really far into the game, there is a ton of places that you've discovered that you can go back to at any time, and there might be new enemies there. There may not be. Things might respawn. They may not. The only way to find out is to go back, right? So, Odyssey, you start off on a little island. You are a descendant of Leonidas, the Spartan, and his spear was broken in the Battle of 300. I forget where, Themis. Anyway, your father was a descendant. Obviously, your father was one of the descendants. He had the spear. He passes it on to you, and shit happens. You get on a boat. You wake up on an island. A man helps you out. That's where the game starts. He raises you, and you go from there. You are a a mercenary, right? You're hired to do whatever it is you're hired to do, right? So I did a little bit of cheating because the game is 2 years old. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is 2 years old. It's taken them that long to finish Valhalla, which I am very much getting on November 10th. Probably going to be my first game on the Series X. Very much looking forward to it because I was reading that it has a lot of the elements that were introduced in Odyssey will continue in Valhalla, but instead of being a Spartan in the Greek era or Greece, Greece times, Roman times, sorry, like Roman Empire stuff, you are a, right? What are you in Valhalla? You are a Viking in the, like, I think a Spanish Inquisition or something era. I don't know history, but I know the games are fun. So anyways, Odyssey, I've only played for like, I don't know, like 8 hours or something like that, and I'm level 5, right? I do a lot of exploring. I love to run around, getting used to the controls and the stuff like that. And I can see, after watching videos of the builds, when you get more powerful gear that gives you more abilities and how you can, like, stats matter. So like if I have a piece of gear, one piece of gear does 10% crit damage. You get another piece of gear that gives you 10% crit damage. Now you have additional 20% and so on. And if you get all your gear, if your gear equals 100% crit damage, guess what? You're doing 100% crit damage. There is no cap, which is fantastic because you can create a beast of a character. And there's 3 different playstyles. There's Hunter, there's Assassin, and there's Warrior, right? Warrior is more weapon-based, face-on combat. Hunter is more ranged and from a distance. And Assassin is part of the why I wasn't a fan. I'm not a stealth game player. I'm more of a warrior. I would rather run up with my weapon and just brutalize you a la Devil May Cry, opposed to like Metal Gear Solid where I'm sneaking around with a box on my head trying not to get seen, right? Like if I get seen, I want to be able to just dispatch the enemies. But this game gives you the option to play as fully as one of those playstyles or any mix that you choose, which is just, right now I am a Assassin Hunter, right? And it's badass. And I'm only level 5. I only have like 3 abilities, and I can already see how much fun it'll be once you unlock more and more abilities, and how you can skew your character to one play style or keep it as a mix. The higher you go, the more you can do, right? Very fun. And I'm gonna try to get through as much as I can. I'm gonna kind of rush it a bit so I can, I don't have to be completely finished, because part of the reason why I'm gonna get it on the Series X is because I can I'm really curious to see how it's gonna work, because when I put my disc from the Xbox One into the Series X, I haven't checked if Xbox has any cloud saving, or do I have to play the game? That's a long car. do I have to play the game all over again? Because if I have to start all over again, that kind of sucks, right? Kind of sucks. But better graphics, slightly smoother gameplay, quicker load times, because Odyssey has pretty long load times on the Xbox One. So faster load times, that'll be beautiful. But do I want to start all over again? Not really. So it'd be I'm really curious to see how that's going to work with save games. Will I be able to, does the cloud save, or can I save my game progress on a memory card and then transfer that over to the Series X and continue where I left off? It's going to be interesting to see. This generation is very much take it with you, opposed to that's the past, this is the future, like how other systems are. That's the past, this is the future. You want to play those games, you play on the old system. You want to play the new games, you play on the new system. Especially when it comes to Xbox. Xbox is, you want to play your game, right? Old, new, you want to play it, here you go. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to work. I haven't looked into cloud saving or anything yet, but I want to see it would kind of suck if you have to start again. But I'm thinking Valhalla will be a purchase for the Series X, right? Because PlayStation 5 is, I'm going to be getting Miles Morales. That's going to be, that's the launch game for the PlayStation 5. I don't care about Demon Souls. I've never been a fan of the Demon Souls. I'm not a fan of that style of gameplay. Being extremely hard just for the sake of being hard, to me, is not fun. I'd rather play an easier game and have progression and have my character get stronger and stronger and feel like the character, than opposed to, you know, you play, you're dead. 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 And then it's like, okay, and let me try something different. Let me try something different. Play, you're dead. You play, you're dead. And then you finally, you beat it. And then it's like, yay, I beat it. But now you're moving on to the next area that's even harder, and it's just the same shit. To me, that's not fun. There's people who love that. More power to you. I'm not one of those people. But I'm thinking Miles Morales is probably going to be the #1 seller on the PlayStation 5. That's going to be the game. Valhalla, I'll pick up on the Series X. And then there's Godfall, which I believe is PC and PlayStation 5 only. So that might be a pickup on the PlayStation. Right? And then, you know, that'll be the beginnings of the next generation. Let's get moving. I'm gonna end this video soon because I want to listen to some music. And unfortunately, what used to be YouTube, meaning us, we can create what we want and we can have the freedom, has a lot of restrictions and rules, and I can't listen to music because it's going to be a copyright. And, well, you know, I don't get paid for my videos anyway, but then they're going to, I don't know if they, oh, that's a nice, anyway, I don't know if they are going to just mute the whole video or just mute the music. Don't want to risk it. So we'll end the video soon so I can listen to my music. But back to what I was saying. Odyssey, 2 years old, for the price. Even if that was the only game I had for next gen, just the fact that it'll speed up the load times and it'll increase the graphics a little, whoo, that is, for me, essentially, it's kind of like the entry into Assassin's Creed, because I don't remember Assassin's Creed 1. I barely remember Black Flag, right? Like, those things are classic. Oh, what's that? Detour! Woo! GTR! Giant wing that doesn't look like it's attached properly. Interesting. Anywho, we're gonna follow this. We're gonna see this guy speed off. But yeah, I've been playing Odyssey, loving the hell out of it. I picked Cassandra, the female character of the two that you can get, and I'm loving it. I'm having a lot of fun playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, November 10th. and I will be picking it up probably on November 10th. May not play it right away, but I'll have it. I'm still a disc guy for most games. Certain games I'll get. Get a little sound of that. I'm still a disc guy for most of my games. A large part of it is the games that the reason why I'm getting, well, the X, I would get the X either way because it's the one that's more future-proof, I should say. But I want to be able to use my Xbox One game on my future system, where if you go full digital, I don't think there's any way to take your disc games, make them digital, and then transfer them over, right? So I'm going disc for both systems, so I can play my older ones when I feel like it, and or get future games. Plus, I watch Blu-rays, right? And my whole Blu-ray collection, I don't want, like, see, that's the thing. People are like, oh, well, the future is digital and you don't need a disc drive. Well, I watch Blu-rays, and Netflix and all the streaming services don't have all the movies that I do. So if I want to watch something that they don't have, if I have a only, now of course I can keep a PlayStation or the Xbox plugged in and use them as my Blu-ray player. That is 100% an option, and I might actually be doing that, right? So less wear and tear on the new system's disc drive. But you know, I'm not gonna just disregard all my DVDs and Blu-rays just because, right? They're still fine, right? But anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Looking forward to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Enjoying the heck out of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. And I want to thank you all for joining me. Not gonna, usually I keep you with me until I end the quest, but today I'm going to leave it off a little bit early, and you can join me on the next one. I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all well. Thank you for watching.